What's going on, moviegoers? So if you're new to the channel, my name is Christian and welcome to Zero Production. You guys, horror remakes, are they a good idea? Should Hollywood continue to make these classic horror movies and remake them into a modern time, some would say? Now, I'm a big horror fan. I love horror movies, always have. This year alone, how many horror movies are we getting that are remakes? We're getting Pet Semetary, we're getting Child's Play, and Stephen King's It Chapter 2. All three of these are considered remakes, reboots, whatever you want to call them. Last year we got Halloween, but I wouldn't really consider that to be a remake or a reboot. I consider that to be a sequel because it's a direct sequel from the first Halloween in 1979, correct me if I'm wrong, and scrapping anything after that. So I don't consider that to be a remake or a reboot. It's a continuation of the story. But is it a good idea? Should they continue to make more of these popular horror franchises for the modern society? Now, I'm not knocking any remakes. I'm not. If you can remake a classic like a Pet Semetary and put your own twist on it and make it better, I take my hats off to you. Because topping a Pet Semetary is going to be pretty hard to do. If you saw that last trailer, it got me super creeped out. That whole entire Zelda scene and the Achilles slicing, just god awful, right? But if you can, like I said, if you can top it and kind of twist it up a little bit and put your own, to it, I'm all with that. Child's Play, they just dropped the Child's Play trailer, official trailer. I got so much shit from not liking that trailer, even though the original video says, it is an official trailer. It doesn't say teaser trailer. I got so much hate for that. Oh, it's just a teaser trailer, relax. If it was a teaser trailer, the title would have been teaser trailer. Come on now. But that trailer just didn't do it for me. Child's Play, Child's Play has been a franchise that's been going on for forever now. And the studio decided to do an official reboot and a new modern take on what a Chucky doll, a Buddy doll, would be like in 2019. Obviously, with how technology is so far advanced, they really went with the entire different route, evading away from the whole voodoo ritualism and things of that nature, and going with the AI tech and how it can be deadly. And I'm not knocking that. Okay, yeah, that's cool, because technology nowadays is very scary, and what technology is able to accomplish it's creepy when you think about it. Having AIs, really take over the planet. It's to the point where technology is so far advanced that we as humans, I don't think that we can keep up. But with this whole Child's Play reboot, like I said, I'm gonna give it a chance. I am. I'm gonna watch it. And when they drop that official second trailer and actually show, the first look of him, I can really base, my feelings on that as well. But I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm not gonna fully knock it out and be like, no, I'm not watching this whatsoever. I'm gonna give it a chance. Then you have It Chapter 2. Back in 2017, they had It Chapter 1 come out, which I thought was a phenomenal film for a reboot, and really, Bill Skarsgård to have the weight of the world on his shoulders when talking about reimagining Pennywise, and what Tim Curry was able to do back in the 90s was such a phenomenal job. And personally, if you ask me, I think Bill Skarsgård did a good job, and I'm really excited to see what the story continues with in Chapter 2. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different from the original TV series, because most people didn't realize that the way back in the 90s, that wasn't a movie. It was like a little TV series. But I think that It Chapter 2 in 2019 is going to be better than the Part 2 in the 90s. Because I felt like the Part 2 in the 90s just really wasn't that great. Yeah, there were some cool little scenes and everything, but it fell short in a lot of areas for me. But I feel like It Chapter 2 in 2019 is really going to solidify and make it that much better. Obviously, they're going to tweak some things and have things to be a little bit different, and I'm completely fine with that. Especially to see, Pennywise in his full form by the end of the movie. How they're going to take that and, is it going to be a spider? Are they going to switch it up? Like, what's going to happen? Like, as of right now, we don't know. But I'm excited for It Chapter 2. And I heard that they're remaking The Candyman. Now, The Candyman is a horror movie that I still can't watch today. Terrifying. I think they did three of those movies. I really only enjoyed the first one. But, you know, the reboot of that is going to be kind of tricky because you had Todd Phillips. Was it Todd Phillips? Ah, I forgot his name. Todd something. Maybe it might be Todd Phillips. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did a phenomenal job as Candyman. His deep voice, his whole presence, you know, the hook on the hand, you know, he was just so menacing and scary, you know, like, and the fact that, you know, that this reboot, nobody's hit him up about it. Nobody's asked him to work on the film or even, you know, co-produce or anything of that nature. I know Jordan Peele is going to be producing this film. But, you know, I feel like if you were going to do a remake or whatnot, why not? He's still alive. You know, have him on the side, you know, working with you guys to co-produce. I mean, like what's his name? Danny McBride and David Gordon Green did for Halloween. You know, they brought in John Carpenter, somebody who started this entire franchise, you know, somebody who knows the material very well and who obviously, you know, put out one of the greatest horror movies of all time. And, you know, for the Candyman remake, I really hope they do ask him to, hey, we're going to put you on. You know, you may not necessarily be Candyman, but, you know, you want to help us work on this film since you brought that iconic character to life back in the 90s. But who knows? I don't know how that's going to go. And then, you know, there was that rumor of that Friday the 13th, you know, reboot that, you know, LeBron James was going to be producing. And I was like, what? What the fuck? Okay, LeBron James is going to be producing a Friday the 13th movie. Well, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, man, I don't know. You know, it's a hit or miss. My thing is, if it's not a passion project from your creators who's going to be doing this reboot, then don't do it. If it's just a cash grab for the studio, get out of here. Like, come on now. Like, to bring back classics and try to redo them, it takes a lot of work. You have to know your fan base, but you have to also know modern times as well in order to incorporate the film in, you know, today's era. So, you know, I feel like some of these movies, some of these remakes are just quick cash grabs. You know, obviously I feel like Halloween wasn't a quick cash grab. I feel like David Gordon Green and Danny McBride really knew their stuff and their fans. That was a passion project. Pet Semetary looks like a passion project. It Chapter 2, passion project. Child's Play, it's hard for me to tell right now. I don't know. I really don't know if this is just a studio trying to do a quick, you know, cash grab. But, you know, making these horror movies and trying to remake them, it's going to be tricky. I know Blumhouse Studios is always willing to do these remakes. Jason Blum did come out and say that they're trying to get the rights to certain characters so they can, you know, reboot things and, you know, have their own remakes of like Scream, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, things of that nature. I was like, okay, well, find people who are very passionate about the horror movie stuff and have them, you know, write and, you know, co-produce and do the casting and make sure it's authentic, but also in modern times. You know, it's just, it's a little nervous when you always want to do a remake of something that's a classic hit. I can only imagine them trying to do The Exorcist, and you know that would just fail miserably. Absolutely, because The Exorcist was just a golden gem of its time, and it will always remain that. You know, and I'm happy that they don't really try to tweak and try to, you know, remake that. I mean, that there's different iterations like The Exorcist of Emily Rose and things like that. I'm like, okay, I can do that. You know, but don't touch the original Exorcist. It's such an iconic movie, and it will always be a classic movie. And then you have like the Texas Chainsaw Massacres, you know, the Leatherface. I heard that there was a prequel movie that came out a couple years ago, like Leatherface. I never saw him. It just sounds so stupid to me. Him as a kid, I was like, what is that? I mean, it's not necessarily a remake. It's a reimagination of, you know, a prequel, how that family got to be, you know. And I was like, well, I don't really know to care about how he grew up. I just want to see, you know, the big ass Leatherface with a big old chainsaw chasing people down. That's what I want to see, you know. But it's tricky when doing these remakes and, you know, reboots. It's very tricky. You know, the fan service and the fan base is pretty strong, and you tweak things and you make things a little different, and you just, you know, fans can go after you and kill you. Trust me, I've seen it online. People going crazy, like the whole, you know, Aladdin thing with Will Smith. Everybody's losing their shit over that. Everybody. It's like, oh my God. I'm glad I've never seen Aladdin, so I don't have my 2 cents to put in. Never seen Aladdin before. You know, and this whole remake of Aladdin, who knows? I don't know how it's going to be, but remakes are hard to pull off. But post your comments down below, you guys. Let me know what you guys think about Hollywood remaking and rebooting horror iconic franchises. Do you think it's a good idea? And do you think that they should continue going this route? Post your comments down below, you guys. And thank you for taking time out of your day for watching Zero Productions. Peace.